بلى من أسلم وجهه لله وهو محسن بلى من أسلم وجهه لله وهو محسن فله وجره عند ربه ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Hazrat Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, is reported to have stated, Laisa min abdin yusalli alayya illa balagani sawtu haysu kana, that whosoever a person, wherever he may be, if he recites Durood upon me, I myself listen to the recitation of that Durood Sharif. So this is the leader of worlds, this is the leader of prophets, this is the seal of prophets, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, who highlights and reflects upon this relationship of love, whereby the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, states, when a devotee, when a lover, when a pious, Laisa min abdin yusalli alayya illa balagani sawtu haysu kana, when that lover, whosoever a person, whoever he may be, when he recites Durood upon me, I myself listen to that recitation of the Durood Sharif. So that is such an exemplified station, and that has been such an opportunity that has been afforded to and granted to a Muslim, that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, himself directly lays down a connection with that person who recites the Durood Sharif upon him. So let us then recite the Durood Sharif in honor and dedication of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Once again, As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Sayyidi ya Rasulallah wa ala alika wa sahabika Ya Sayyidi Ya Habib Allah. So the blessed verse of the Holy Quran, which I just recited a while ago, that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala states in the Holy Quran, Bala man aslama wajhahu lillahi wa huwa muhsinun falahu wajruhu inda rabbih wala khawfun alayhim wala hum yahzanun. Yes, why not in the affirmative? Yes, why not? Whoso submitted his face towards Allah while being a doer of good, then his reward is with his Lord, and they have neither any fear nor any grief. So in this blessed verse of the Holy Quran, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala highlights and reflects upon a certain class. And they are the ones who hold love in their hearts for Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, and their direction is towards Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, that they face towards Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala in submission. They submit before Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. They submit before the pleasure of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. So therefore, they are the doers of good, and their reward is with none other than but with the Lord of the worlds, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Whoso submitted his face towards Allah while being a doer of good, then his reward is with his Lord, and they have neither fear nor any grief. So the ones who submitted before Allah, who put forth their humble submission before the Lord of the worlds, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, and then were engaged in good deeds, their reward is with the Lord of the worlds, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. So such people, exegetes have asserted, including my father, my mentor, my Qibla, my Pir Murshid, my axis, Sayyidina Shaykh Ahmad Mohsin Yusufi, that this verse per se, it refers to the saints of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. This verse refers to the awliya Allah. So the honorable messenger, the most respected prophet of Islam, the beacon of hope, the bearer of glad tidings, a messenger of peace, an embodiment of love, an expression of mercy and happiness, a paragon of virtue, forgiveness and tolerance, the unsurpassable model of behavior, the radiant one, the illuminated one, the seal of apostleship, the seal of prophethood, the beloved of Allah, the beloved of all, the warmer of hearts, the coolness to eyes, the holy prophet, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Imam Kustalani writes in Mawahib Dunya Sharif that Hazrat Saeed bin Jubair says that someone inquired from the holy prophet, peace be upon him, that, O Prophet of Allah, O Prophet of Allah, who are the confidant friends of Allah? Who are those who are the confidant friends of Allah? Who are the confidant friends of Allah, the most close friends of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala in proximity? So the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, thereupon replied that those whom when seen are found engaged in the remembrance of Allah Tabarak. So the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, laid down a precise explanation of who these loved ones are, who these beloveds of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala are, who these saints of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala are, that when they are seen, they are found engaged in constant remembrance of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, in constant worship of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, and that is for no materialistic or worldly gains perhaps, but it is just and only and merely for the sake of gaining the pleasure of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. So they are the ones that when seen they are found engaged in constant remembrance of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. So it is recorded in Bukhari Sharif that Hazrat Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, a beloved companion of the beloved messenger, peace be upon him, he is reported to have stated, whoever is hostile towards my wali, whoever is hostile towards my friend, should be ready for war. My servant cannot be closer to me with anything better than that which I have ordained for him, and the closer my servant draws to me through supererogatory prayers, through the nawafil, the more I love him. The more I love him, and when I love him, I become the ear with which he hears, I become the eyes with which he sees, his hand with which he grabs, his legs with which he walks. And when he asks me, I give him, and if he seeks my protection, I grant protection to him. So in this blessed hadith of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, it is pertinent to note that supererogatory prayers therefore define themselves as one of the cornerstones in establishing that a person draws closer to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And hence, this is also an indication and an omen reflecting that this person might as well be one of the beloveds of Allah and a saint of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And they are the ones that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala starts loving them. Such is the proximity between them and Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. So who are these people? They are the saints of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Hazrat Umar bin al-Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, stated, O people, listen. O people, listen, understand and know it well. Allah has servants who are neither prophets nor are they martyrs, but even the prophets and martyrs would envy them due to the proximity that they hold with Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. So a clear explanation of who these loved ones are, a clear explanation of their proximity with Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. They will not be from amongst the prophets, and they will not be from amongst the martyrs, But the prophets and the martyrs shall envy them. And why shall they envy them? Because of the love, the degree of love, the account of love that they narrate. The account of love that they narrate. The record of love that they record in the annals of history. The blessed saints of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, they are not from amongst the prophets. They shall not be from amongst the martyrs. But the prophets and the martyrs shall envy them due to the love that they hold and the proximity that they have with Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, due to the love that they have in their hearts. So such are the examples of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala's saints, the saints who worship and remember and love Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala only for the purposes of gaining His pleasure and only His pleasure. And Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has at a number of instances instructed and thereby commanded the Muslims in the Holy Quran to adopt their company, to adopt the company of these loved ones, of these pious men, of these saints of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has confirmed His love for these saints of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala in the Holy Quran, the divine book itself. So let us then recite this verse of the Holy Quran, wherein Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala states, Inna Allah yuhibbul muttaqeen. Undoubtedly, undeniably, Allah loves the pious. Exegetes have maintained that the pious ones referred in this blessed verse of the Holy Quran are in actual the beloved saints of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala and the Awliya-Azam, for whom Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala hold love. The verse of the Holy Quran is clear and categorically explains that undoubtedly Allah loves the pious ones. And my Pir Murshid Sayyidi Shaykh Muhammad Mohsin Yusufi, he often states, it is not that big a thing, it is not that big a thing that we go and say that we love Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, but that is indeed quite an exceptional remark and station that the Lord of the worlds confirms to us that He loves a certain person. And Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has laid down the definition of that very clearly in the Holy Quran, that the ones He loves are the pious ones. Hence, the awliya Allah of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, the saints of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Likewise, at another instance, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala states, Wallahu yuhibbul muhsineen. And virtuous people are dear to Allah. Again in this blessed verse of the Holy Quran, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has again very clearly, precisely and utterly stated, outright stated, who are the ones who are closer to Him, who are the ones He holds dear. Wallahu yuhibbul muhsineen, the virtuous people. Again, exegetes have again maintained, and the Islamic scholars have maintained, jurists have maintained, that of the people being highlighted, the virtuous people being referred are the beloved saints of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. They are the ones who in actual are the virtuous ones, the pious ones, who are always found engaged in constant remembrance of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. So these awliya Allah, they are permeated with unconditional love for Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Everything that they do is only and solely for gaining the pleasure of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And it is due to this that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala laid down the commandment in the Holy Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqeen. O believers, fear Allah and be with the truthful. Now again in this verse, the same concept has been reiterated, that who are the ones who are the truthful ones. In one verse, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala would refer to them as the pious ones, muttaqeen. At another instance, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala would refer to these awliya Allah as Muhsineen, the ones dear to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. At another instance, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala would refer to these awliya Allah as Sadiqeen, the truthful ones, thereby confirming that these are the ones who are loved by none other than the Lord of the worlds, the creator of the world, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And these saints of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, they reflect good company. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, the beloved Messenger, peace be upon him, the warmer of hearts, the coolness to eyes, he is reported to have stated, an example of good pious company is like that of a perfume seller. You may not buy anything from him, but the wafts of that perfume will leave you with a pleasant scent. Such is the company of awliya Allah. Such is the company of awliya Allah. Even if you do not have the perfume on, sitting in their company would ensure that the wafts of that perfume reaches you as well. And on a similar account, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, then subsequently stated, and the example of bad company is like that of a furnace blower. If one sits next to him, a flame may blow from the furnace and burn one's skin, and if not, the smudge will certainly leave one with a bad smell. So these awliya Allah, again, as highlighted and reflected from this blessed hadith and saying of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, they are like and akin to the perfume sellers. That they would ensure that the wafts of perfume, they reach. However, the only requirement is that you adopt their company. And in this gathering of Gyarvi Sharif, this gathering is a dedication. It is a dedication to the leader of saints, to the most sovereign, the unrivaled, the unprecedented, the matchless saint of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, the beloved of all the beloved of Allah, the unsurpassable model of behavior, the great mystic, the great falcon, the great Gnostic, Hazur Ghaus-E-Azam, Sayyidina Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiyallahu ta'ala. Through all these verses and the blessed things of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, what we've contemplated so far is that the company of these awliya Allah has to be made a part of one's life. And gatherings like these, where we gather and discuss the accounts of awliya Allah while being presided by a saint of Allah, this is indeed an unrivaled blessing for us. The company of awliya Allah. Hazrat Shaykh Adi bin Musafir radiyallahu ta'ala states that on one occasion, while Hazur Ghaus-E-Azam, Sayyidina Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiyallahu ta'ala was addressing, he was giving a lecture, a shower of rain descended down from the sky. Now this caused some of the members of the audience to disperse. So he raised his head towards the heavens, towards the skies, Hazur Ghaus-E-Azam radiyallahu ta'ala, and he stated, O Lord, here I am gathering people towards you, and here I am gathering people together for the sake of you, and you are scattering them away from here in this manner. It was that moment that Hazur Ghaus-E-Azam radiyallahu ta'ala, when people were sat in his company and he was giving a lecture to them, he was addressing them, that the rain started to pour and then they started to disperse. Hazur Ghaus-E-Azam, the beloved saint of Allah, the sovereign saint, the leader of saints, he looked up towards the skies and he stated, O Lord, here I am gathering these people for you, and here you are scattering them. And right there and then the rain stopped. Right there and then the rain stopped. And the rain at once stopped falling on the courtyard where the lecture was taking place. But outside the parameters of the lecture place, the rain was still pouring. So thereby highlighting a miracle karamat of Hazur Ghaus-E-Azam Sayyidina Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. So Hazur Ghaus-E-Azam Sayyidina Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he stated, O person, he advised his murideen, his devotees, that he has created you for himself. He has created you for himself. And you are desirous of belonging to somebody else other than him. So Hazur Ghaus-E-Azam radiyallahu ta'ala anhu would advise his students to not look towards anything else which is not related to him. So this is the station of Hazur Ghaus-E-Azam Sayyidina Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And he also stated that the heart, when you love Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala unconditionally, the heart will become the hands. The heart will become like the hold vessel. And the heart will become like a hold vessel such that no other thing in your heart will stay other than your God, other than the love that you have for your God. Because the vessel has broken. And other than love for Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, nothing else has to stay in that. So this is an indication of the gathering of saints of Allah. That in these gatherings, these saints of Allah ensure that you convert into a broken vessel. Into such kind of a broken vessel that nothing other than the love of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala stays inside. So that is Hazur Ghaus-E-Azam who stated, Maqamukumul ala jam'an walakin maqami fawqakum ma zala ali. High is your station each and all, and yet my station is above you, higher still.